What am I going to
ticking relentlessly. 3 minutes till midnight captures the suffocating tension of a world teetering on its edge, with pounding for suffocation making you think of the pulse of a panicked heart and haunting melodies that are used in many horror films. This song gives you an apprehensive feeling of longing for what's on the other side of the clock, but wanting to stay behind because of fear. This song paints a chilling portrait of humanity's final countdown. Each verse is revealing secrets, betrayal, and a terrifying calm before midnight. This is a warning, and unseen forces tightening their grips around humanity. Once the chorus hits, time bends. We are no longer listening or waiting for what will happen. We are inside the countdown, breathless, caught in a moment, too late for redemption, too early for collapse. The composer doesn't end the song like usual. He doesn't end it in an exclamation mark, but instead a period. By the final note, silent becomes the loudest sound. Midnight hasn't struck yet, but it's close. Too close. But there is always still hope, and you'll hear it. Once you hear the hope, the eerie feeling starts to fade.
She broke down all the way.
So if you would like to bring your student's instrument back to campus after the Stallion Band goes, which will be just right after these guys, Mr. Dave Torfin, one of our amazing administrators, or deans, is going to be in the lobby, and he'll take your students back right after Stallion Band. And then some thank yous. We have some extremely supportive admin here at campus. I know I've talked about that before, but consistently needs recognition because we wouldn't have this without a really supportive admin. Much for being here. We have 2 tunes for you tonight. We're really focused in on the tunes, especially since we had our concert in March, so we're excited to share the 2 we've been working on. Natanya and Sophie are going to come up and introduce our first song, Rising Star.
Rising Star was compositioned by Mr. Stephen at the Rising Star Middle School. The composition Rising Star uses only 6 first notes in each instrument's beginning lesson. Additional rhythms consist of only quarter, half, and whole notes, yet the goal was to create something that did not sound like a 6-note composition, a piece that was melodic and warm. This was primarily done by using passing notes, suspensions, and color chords.
Above all, Mr. Stephen Tyndall and the Rising Star program should be commended for such an unselfish commission, especially since they chose to premiere this 6-note composition during their concert at the Western International Band Clinic in Seattle, Washington. Their ability is far above the technical demands of this composition, but their approach to it musically made all the difference.
So I tricked them. We've been learning tenutos this whole time, so they're great at tenutos. See if you can hear the difference in their staccatos and their tenutos in this next tune, Sound in Space. And then we get some cool percussion colors. We get a woodblock, and we get a ratchet. We get a tambourine, and we get a slide whistle. And then we also get some 8 notes that are in tricky places between different notes. They have to count multi-measure rests, so you'll probably see them jamming back there. Don't have that. percussion colors. We get a woodblock, and we get a ratchet. We get a tambourine, and we get a slide whistle. And then we also get some 8 notes that are in tricky places between different notes. They have to count multi-measure rest, so you'll probably see them jamming back there. Don't affect. Chit-chat amongst yourself. We'll start in 8 minutes. That was the pre-show. Isn't that fun?